Have you ever noticed how some pains simply refuse to leave? No matter how much time passes, no matter how many distractions you create, there it is again, knocking at your heart, at your body, at your thoughts. Carl Jung gave a name to this hidden force, the shadow. It is everything we deny, repress, or pretend is not part of us. And yet, it continues to live inside, influencing every choice we make. But here is the paradox. The shadow does not exist to destroy you. It exists to reveal something, and often the very thing you reject the most. The part of yourself you've tried hardest to silence is the exact place where your greatest healing can begin. In this video, we are going to explore how Carl Jung and Joe Dispenza, two men from different eras but with converging insights, reveal that pain is not the end, but the starting point of transformation. We'll look at why suffering repeats itself, how the body stores emotional memories, and how the mind, your mind, has the power to reprogram even your own biology. So, if this resonates with you, stay with me until the end, because what you hear today may completely change the way you look at your own pain. We all carry a hidden side. It's the side we keep carefully guarded, sometimes even from ourselves. It's the anger you cover up with politeness, the sadness you drown in busyness, the fear you bury under responsibilities, hoping it will fade away. Carl Jung called this side the shadow, and ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. On the contrary, it keeps working silently, shaping the way you think, the relationships you choose, and the situations you attract. Have you ever noticed how the same kinds of problems seem to return again and again, like repeating the same story with different characters? That's your shadow at work. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Think about that. How much of what you call bad luck is really the unconscious repeating itself, waiting for you to notice? But the shadow is not only wounds and weaknesses. It also holds forgotten strengths, buried talents, potentials you locked away because the world told you they were unacceptable. Imagine a room that has been locked for decades. From the outside, it looks frightening: dust, darkness, silence. But when you finally gather the courage to open the door, you realize treasures have been waiting inside all along. That is your shadow. It is not the end of you. It is the hidden part that, once embraced, makes you whole. Most of us were taught to see pain as a punishment, something to fear, something that happens because we failed, because we weren't good enough, or because life is cruel. But what if pain is not a punishment at all? What if it is a messenger? Modern science is beginning to confirm what spiritual traditions have said for centuries. The body remembers. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you suppress, every trauma you avoid, they all leave marks inside of you. Not just in your mind, but in your very cells. Dr. Bruce Lipton, through the science of epigenetics, showed us that genes are not fixed sentences. They are not destiny carved in stone. They respond to the environment. And the most powerful environment is not outside of you. It is inside. It is your emotional state. When you live in constant stress, anger, or fear, your body receives those signals, and it begins to adjust itself to that chemistry. Over time, that can turn into physical illness, chronic tension, even emotional exhaustion. But when pain arises, it is not here to punish you. It is here to alert you. It is the body's way of saying, "Listen, something inside you needs to be seen." And when the same pain keeps repeating, it is often because the message has not yet been received. So what if, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you asked, "What is this pain trying to tell me?" That one shift in perspective can turn suffering into a doorway, because pain, when seen as a message, becomes a portal, a threshold between who you have been and who you are called to become. For Jung, real freedom was not found in avoiding the shadow, but in facing it. He called this process individuation, the journey of becoming whole. But why is it so hard? Because facing your shadow is like descending into a basement you've avoided all your life. Down there are memories you tried to erase, emotions you were told not to feel, truths that felt too heavy to carry. And yet, it is in that descent where you find your wholeness. Without confronting the shadow, you live only half a life. The acceptable half, the polished half, while the other half remains abandoned in the dark. Think of a tree. Its strength does not come from the branches that reach upward, but from the roots that sink deep into the earth. In the same way, your soul grows stronger the deeper you are willing to go into your own darkness. And here lies the paradox. Healing does not happen in spite of pain. Healing happens through pain. When you finally look at your shadow with compassion, not with judgment, not with fear, something extraordinary happens. The very place that once felt like prison becomes the ground of your liberation. If Jung helps us recognize the shadow, Joe Dispenza shows us how to transform it. Neuroscience has revealed something fascinating. The brain is not fixed. It is plastic, adaptable, always reshaping itself. Every time you repeat a thought or relive an emotion, you strengthen neural pathways in your brain. It's like carving a deeper and deeper path in the sand. And without realizing it, your body begins to memorize emotions, sadness, anger, anxiety. They stop being temporary experiences and become familiar states of being, like emotional addictions. But here's the hope. Just as the brain can create these patterns, it can also create new ones. Every new thought, every elevated emotion, every intentional choice begins to carve new pathways inside of you. Dispenza emphasizes it's not enough to think differently. You must also feel differently, to choose gratitude instead of resentment, hope instead of despair, love instead of fear. When you begin to feel differently, your body responds. Genes switch on and off, cells reorganize, your very chemistry changes. And suddenly, pain is no longer a permanent prison. It becomes the starting point of a new creation, a new version of you. Jung tells us the shadow must be seen, or it will rule your life. Dispenza tells us your mind and emotions have the power to reshape your reality. And when you put these two visions together, the picture becomes clear. Pain is not here to end you, it is here to recreate you. One perspective shows us the unconscious bringing wounds to the surface. The other shows us the conscious mind choosing new states of being. Together they form a bridge from suffering to creation. Imagine pain as a closed door inside of you. The more you avoid it, the heavier it feels. But the moment you decide to open it, you discover an entire space of freedom on the other side. Science tells us elevated emotions shift biology. Spirituality tells us elevated emotions awaken the soul. And together they whisper the same truth. Pain is not the end. Pain is the beginning. Jung tells us the shadow must be seen or it will rule your life. Dispenza tells us your mind and emotions have the power to reshape your reality. And when you put these two visions together, the picture becomes clear. Pain is not here to end you. It is here to recreate you. One perspective shows us the unconscious, bringing wounds to the surface. The other shows us the conscious mind choosing new states of being. Together, they form a bridge from suffering to creation. Imagine pain as a closed door inside of you. The more you avoid it, the heavier it feels. But the moment you decide to open it, you discover an entire space of freedom on the other side. Science tells us elevated emotions shift biology. Spirituality tells us elevated emotions awaken the soul. And together they whisper the same truth. Pain is not the end. Pain is the beginning. Now, I want to guide you in a practice, not just words, but an experience you can feel right now. Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath in, and release it gently. Bring to mind a pain you still carry. Don't fight it. Don't push it away. Just allow it to be here, as if you were holding it in your hands. Now, in silence, tell it, I see you. I acknowledge you. You are part of me. Feel that acceptance. Stay with it for a few moments, and then invite a new emotion into your heart. It could be gratitude, it could be peace, it could be love. Imagine that this emotion is a gentle light, slowly wrapping around the pain, softening it, transforming it. This is the essence of healing, not running away from what hurts, but embracing it until it becomes wisdom. When the shadow is embraced, it ceases to be a wound. Today we discovered that the shadow is not an enemy, but a part of us. That pain is not punishment, but a message. Jung showed us how to confront the inner darkness. Dispenza showed us how to reprogram it into light. Together they remind us that the very place we fear the most may be the place where our true freedom is born. So I ask you now, which part of your shadow do you feel is asking to be embraced at this moment in your life? Share your reflection in the comments. Your words may help someone else. If this message resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the shadow that frightens you today may be the strength that sets you free tomorrow.